it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. It is almost February and the ground is frozen outside. It'll probably stay that way until almost March. So we're still working on doing cozy winter gardening. Middle of winter is when I get a lot of our cut flower seeds started, hardy annuals, perennial cut flowers, as well as even spring crops using the winter sowing method. If you're in a northern climate, you might already be familiar with this method, but it's just a easy way to get a lot of your seeds started this time of year. If you don't have a greenhouse or grow lights, this is a very cost-effective way to get a lot of your seeds started. We do have grow lights, but I still prefer this method over starting my seeds under grow lights. But you can see that I have a whole pile of seeds that we are going to be starting today. So make yourself something cozy to drink. I'm going to be going over the seeds that will be starting today, as well as how this method works and the whole process. So let's get started. Planting seeds into jugs or Ziploc bags in the middle of the winter ensures that your seeds will emerge as soon as the conditions are just right for them. Your seeds will be protected by your homemade containers that act as mini greenhouses. So your seeds will remain in the soil until the spring warmth naturally encourages germination. The seeds will then sprout and grow on their own with no need for heating mats or grow lights, which is a win-win in my books. From there, they can then be transplanted into the ground without any hardening off, since they've already acclimated to outdoor conditions. For winter sowing to be successful, you need to live in a pretty cold climate. January is typically a good time to start winter sowing, but if you're in a very cold area, you can still sow in February or even March. I'm in growing zone 6A and I still do winter sowing throughout the whole month of February. So for this next step, we will just be adding potting mix into our containers. And if I'm planting flower seeds, I just use a good all-purpose potting mix. But if I'm planting herbs or vegetable seeds, I use an organic potting mix that is specifically made for food to grow in. Now, the best seeds for winter sowing. Technically, you can winter sow almost any seeds you like. Due to the cold, seeds will only germinate when it's naturally warm enough for them. So the winter cold usually isn't a problem. I would just watch for sudden cold snaps after germination and give the more tender seedlings extra protection. But this is what I will look for on a seed packet when I go to plant seeds into jugs for the winter sowing method. It's perfect for anything that needs cold stratification or says that it's frost hardy. So here are some of the seeds that we are planting together today. Alyssum usually blooms from late spring until early fall and it smells so good. Love using this as a border plant. Chamomile is, I'm very excited to grow this one to add into the herb garden for tea. Forget-me-nots, this one is supposed to stay shorter with an exceptional blue color. I can't wait to see this in the spring garden. I love using columbine in cut flower arrangements, and when I saw this double mix, I knew I needed to have it in the cut flower garden, especially those pink flowers. Canterbury bells is one that I had started in jugs last year, and they did so well, so I'm starting some more in jugs this year because I can't get enough of this plant. Southern charm mullein is a perennial in, I believe, zones 5 through 8, and I planted some in jugs last winter. Oh my goodness, they were stunning in the garden this past summer, so I'm planting more. I love using dianthus in spring cut flower arrangements. So when I found one that was almost in black, I knew I needed to have this one in the cut flower garden. Lemon bee balm is supposed to attract pollinators as well as good for tea, so this will be added into the herb garden. Fennel is one I've never grown before, but I guess the feathery plumes are supposed to look nice in cut flower arrangements, and the fennel seeds are supposed to be tasty in dishes, so we'll be growing this one for the herb garden. This certain cabbage is supposed to be pretty frost hardy, so we're growing it as a spring crop, and I'm excited to try it out in sauerkraut. Mountain mint is one that I had grown last winter in jugs, and it did so well. I have a few seeds left over, so I'm growing more of it because this makes a wonderful mint tea. This kale grows best in the frosts of spring and in fall, so we are going to be starting it from seed as a spring crop. And last but not least is sweet peas. This one is salmon cream. I found this variety at Walmart, I believe, and it says it's supposed to have a wonderful scent. So, of course, it needs to be added to the spring cut flower garden. Now that we have our seeds placed into the jug, we want to make sure that they're planted according to the depth instructions shown on the packet. If the packet says plant 1/4 inch deep, that's the exact depth you want to plant. Or if it says surface sow, just lightly press your seeds into the soil. And I sow my seeds pretty heavily, and then I'll gently separate them when I go to plant the seedlings into the garden in spring. After planting your seeds, you will give them a good mist because we want our seeds to have moisture for germination. Now, these jugs will be placed outside in the sun and in the weather, which can make labels fade. So I make sure to label on the inside of the jug as well as on the outside. Our seeds are all planted and these little greenhouses are ready to be placed outside. But first, we're going to replace the top and we are going to close off the sides with duct tape. Now, it is time to get your coats and shoes on because we are taking these little greenhouses outside in a place where they will get full sun and where they will also receive rain and snow. I placed my jugs on the patio right outside the back door so I don't have to walk too far to check on them. Now, even though your winter sown seeds don't require much maintenance, you will still want to check on them. If you're getting a lot of rain or snow, just check, make sure that the soil is draining properly. If it's necessary, you can raise these containers slightly off of the ground. Oftentimes, if the sun shines onto the containers, they'll kind of create their own moisture. But if you're not getting any rain or snow, just check the soil maybe once every day or even every other day and give it a good mist if the soil seems dry. Watering is the only real maintenance these jugs will need from you unless they're already getting enough from rain or snow. The final step is transplanting in spring once your plants have true leaves and the danger of frost has passed. And I'll be sharing with you in spring how I transplant mine, so I'm excited to share it with all of you. All right, friends, we have 21 jugs, 21 little greenhouses filled with seeds we planted out into the cut flower garden and into the herb garden this spring. I love this time of year. It's always so exciting to get seeds started. But I would love to hear if you have started seeds using this method before, and if you have, what kind of seeds have you started? We would all love to hear about it. But thank you for being here today, friends. I hope this video has been helpful and fun and inspiring, and it gets you out into your own garden. Have an amazing week, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.